Oh la la la. Hey guys, kumanya kuya kuzokupa presentation chibva kubasa. Kutongosvikira pa computer kuti kupe presentation. Zvakaoma komana. Zvakaoma. Ndachimhanya kuti ndikupe presentation ngomabhekezela maramane. How are you? Kuyanchimhanya kana preparation chayo. Should say Mr. Manakira? How are you? How are you? And so that I don't want to waste your time. That I came late. Eddie, should say how are you? Eddie Ndebele. This Ndebele of mine. I like him, hey. I like this guy known as Eddie Ndebele. How are you, Eddie? Lord Shepherd, thank you so much. Zuru Fambere, Mwana Mkoma Dani, Mpatli, Stole, and Sekuru. Sekuru Stole. Nakuti Mkoma Dani, Seurdan, Zirize, Wana Stole, Dana Sekuru. Dana Sekuru. Stanley Mbano, Zirize, Ndagasimba, Zuru Fambere. Ndawayanchi Manya. I was reading comments from yesterday's presentation. It was downloaded and uploaded on YouTube. So there are quite a lot of interesting questions that were being asked by people, which I am happy to answer now. And quite summit. So I'm going to answer Kwanzi. And this I was at work, so I didn't have much time to follow up the summit. But as I understand, Mnangagwa is not the right candidate or the right person to preside over what is happening in Mozambique, because he himself is compromised. He is the first person to have congratulated Chapo before the results were announced. How did he know that Chapo had won that election before the results were tallied, before even the results were announced? Titan Simba, Zuri say Mabiangu Yawe, we Jamanyanya, Emma, how are you? So, ladies and gentlemen, one question that I was asked from that yesterday's presentation uploaded on YouTube. One person, I think, is from the Central Intelligence Organization. He came and asked a question that, what is counterintelligence? Right. So today, I'm going to make a presentation on counterintelligence. But this presentation will focus much on what Susan Mutami has said. Susan Mutami, there's an audio that has been sent to me, which was made by Susan Mutami and uploaded on YouTube. Unfortunately, I was at work. I did not have time to listen to the whole presentation. But Pandabata and Opandati, no, let me go and make it clear to the people of Zimbabwe. Mutami Susan said she wants her money. She contributed towards the acquisition of a bulletproof car for President Nelson Chamisa. Fair and fine. I've come in peace to Susan Mutami that if she sent her money to President Nelson Chamisa to buy a bulletproof car, she needs to give us evidence. She needs to show us the money transfer to Nelson Chamisa for the purchase of this car. If she made a contribution to a GoFundMe, which I'm happy to have been part of it, then she did not contribute to Nelson Chamisa, but she contributed to the cause that we formulated. I was part and parcel of the people who formulated the cause. We formulated the cause after having observed that Nelson Chamisa's life was in danger in Zimbabwe. He was an endangered species which needed protection. Chamisa was the only foot forward in the struggle for democracy. So we came together as opposition activists, as I was not an official of any party during that time, but I was an activist following the politics of Nelson Chamisa, and fell in love with the way Chamisa was doing his politics. So I sat down with the likes of Chief Soshe, we had the likes of Juma Uliete, Dr. Jaji in Australia, and quite a number of people that I cannot mention at this juncture. We came up with an idea to say, guys, why can't we buy a bulletproof car to protect our best foot forward, Nelson Chamisa? We saw the idea that the Ugandans contributed a large amount of money and bought their opposition leader a bulletproof car. Unfortunately, the guy was shot, I think 2 months ago. He was shot on the leg whilst he was walking. I think they've tried to shoot him in his bulletproof car, and the bullets were ricocheting. So I've come in peace to Susan Mtami on this presentation to say, look, if you ever contributed your money to Nelson Chamisa, I'm happy if you come forward with the receipts and the transfer of that money to Nelson Chamisa, so that the world knows that you are demanding your money from Nelson Chamisa. Unfortunately, if you contributed to the cause that we made, it has nothing to do with Nelson Chamisa. The bulletproof GoFundMe that we put there, even Chamisa was surprised when we told him that, look, this is our own initiative. It has got nothing to do with MDC Alliance. This is a personal gift to protect the life of Nelson Chamisa. It had nothing to do with the part. It was aimed at protecting the life of Nelson Chamisa, not protecting the life of MDC Alliance. I think I've made it clear here that Susan Mutami cannot demand her money that she contributed for the cause of protecting Nelson Chamisa's life. But she can demand back her money if she transferred the money to Nelson Chamisa himself and say, look, buy a bulletproof car. But if she contributed to our cause, unfortunately, she has to reclaim her money through the channel where she sent her money. So she must not bring Chamisa's name into disrepute. She must not associate Chamisa's name with the GoFundMe of that bulletproof car. So this is probably the work of counterintelligence. They want to know, among the vehicles that Chamisa uses, which one is the bulletproof car. And for the sake of transparency, Mkuma Yuda, what happened to the money? The car was bought, the car was purchased. That is what I can assure you, Gede Jakarta. The man was withdrawn. The man was forwarded to the right people to buy a car, and a bulletproof car was purchased. Unfortunately, we cannot expose which of the cars is bulletproof. It's very unfortunate. It's for security reasons. But for transparency's sake, yes, the money went to where it was required and a bulletproof vehicle was purchased. I think you have been shown some of the pictures of the bulletproof car, the inside of it, whilst President was seated in the car with its papers around. I think you saw it. A lot of people saw it, but unfortunately, vanhu vakatenga motikari iyo vana Dr. Judge vakataura kuti we should not expose this car to the security, because it is the security of the president. So we will compromise Nelson Chamisa's security. Therefore, the car was purchased and the car is there. It's very unfortunate that people cannot be allowed to, were not allowed to have a view or a touch of it because of security concerns. I think I've made this clear. The monies went to where they were meant to be. A car was purchased. This car is the same car that you hear from Mana Douglas Munzorashidi. That car belonged to the part. Unfortunately, it was not meant for the part. We had separate monies for the part and separate monies for protecting Nelson Chamisa. We were fighting to protect the person of Nelson Chamisa. So it was his personal car for use wherever he goes. Akada kwenda kumusha ndo motikari yake anoshandisa iyoyo. Akada kwenda kwa anoenda muZimbabwe achifamba bozi pfuti dzaingoridzwa pese pese. Ndo motikari yake anoshandisa akada kwenda kwa anoda kuenda Nelson Chamisa. So it has got nothing to do with the part, but it was to protect the life of the president. No, that's the work of the counterintelligence. It's not her who is doing that. She's just being pushed. She's just being used. And African leaders learn from developed nations. Bulletproof car, Sweden and MP. Yeah, it's the problem, love. Our politics in Africa, it's not that advanced like the democracies you talk about. Here in UK, you saw our beloved Prime Minister does not need a bulletproof car. He just walk or cycle to work. No one even pay attention to him. Because we've got loads of things to do. Our politics in Africa are too primitive. They are politics for assassination. So anyone who is in power, who feel threatened by an opposition leader, need that leader assassinated. So this is the politics that we have in Africa. Unfortunately, it will be a long way for us to realize that no, politics is just a game. One person who is coming in to run a country must not be president of next election, but must be president of next generation, is what as Boko has been told by the Botswana people in Zimbabwe to say, Boko, I think you are here as the president of next generation. What are you going to leave in the country for the next generation? So what I'm saying here is, Susan Mutami, yes, you can demand your money from Nelson Chamisa if you transferred your money to Nelson Chamisa to buy that car. Unfortunately, if you transferred that money to the cause of protecting the life of Nelson Chamisa, not the part, but the person, you need to go through the GoFundMe, and then you try to retrieve your whatever amount you deposited there. So it's very no, it's not here. We need to make this presentation so that the people using her for counterintelligence, they must understand that we are fully aware what shenanigans are being done to try and discredit our president Nelson Chamisa. So someone was asking me, hey, counterintelligence. Hey, what does that word mean? I need to answer to that gentleman. I've forgotten the name of the gentleman. Counterintelligence refers to efforts taken to protect one's intelligence. It's just a counter. And it's just a counter intelligence. These are efforts put to protect one's intelligence. If Zimbabwe has got intelligence, then they need to have this intelligence protected. So for that intelligence to be protected, there must be a counterintelligence department. So counterintelligence operations, they prevent or protect the intelligence of the country. Because some foreign powers or even inside Zimbabwe, they want to penetrate your intelligence. So you need to put a countermeasure to protect that intelligence. You need to put a countermeasure to prevent disruption by hostile nations or by other or by your service intelligence services. So So you need. And inyaya, you know, mudiwa Janet, inyaya kutaura, vanhu vecounter intelligence vari kushandisa Susan Mutami kuti demand mari yako kuna Nelson Chamisa ye-bulletproof car. Saka tiri kutaura kuti the GoFundMe that we came up with to raise money to buy that car, Nelson Chamisa was never involved in that cause. It was citizens of a country who came up together with an idea. After we saw Nelson Chamisa's motorcade being shot at, being stoned, being blocked, all sorts of brutality being meted to Nelson Chamisa just to bring democracy to the country. So he was brutally attacked. He was shot at. He was blocked from moving from one town to another, from rural areas. He was never allowed to penetrate rural areas. So after we saw that, we came up together as the citizens of a country and came up with an idea without even Nelson Chamisa knowing. That GoFundMe was done without Chamisa's knowledge. We wanted to surprise him. Good, President Nelson Chamisa, takaona mchenda kwa mtare. Futi dzichirizwa motikari dzichibaiwa nemabara. Zvekuti takatya kuona kuti upenyu hwenyu hunoparara. Saka ese citizens enyika yeZimbabwe, we have come up with an idea to raise money to buy this car. Then this is your car, your president. That car had nothing to do with a political party. Ndakazonzwa vana Monzora vakuidimanda. Ndakazonzwa vana Komichi vakuidimanda. It's not their car. It was a personal gift to the President Nelson Chamisa's life, to protect his life. Because once he is shot and killed, that is the end of opposition politics in our country. Aripo esa ya magwara aya, amakaona magwara. Apana muna stand like what Nelson Chamisa did. So we came up with an idea to say, let's contribute money and protect the life of Nelson Chamisa. So it was his personal car to protect his life, not to protect a political party. So the car does not belong to a party. Because MDC in a treasure wayo. Zvekuti dai treasure iye aida kuti motikari ive part. That treasure during that time was supposed to have opened a GoFundMe to say, let's fund the part to buy a car for our president. So that if Chamisa is removed from being president, the MDC will repossess its car and give it to the next president of the part. Unfortunately, the treasure of the part never came up with that idea. But it was ordinary citizens of a country who came up together with an idea to protect the life of Nelson Chamisa. And Chamisa had no idea, had no knowledge of whatever was being done, because it was meant to be like a surprise gift to Nelson Chamisa. So those those from counterintelligence like Susan Mutami, who are claiming today that they want a refund of their money, it's unfortunate that if you contributed to the cause, you did not contribute to Nelson. Unless if you transferred in person to Nelson Chamisa, and that was for Chamisa and not for the bulletproof car. To protect Chamisa from what? To protect Chamisa from being killed. That was our intention. Because you saw before elections in 2022, 2023, Chamisa was blocked by armed thugs from ZANU-PF, and they were firing live shots at him. They wanted to kill him. So we came up with an idea to protect his life so that we can buy a bulletproof car. If they shoot at him, then the bullets will ricochet and they will be repelled by the car. So that was the purpose, to protect the life of Nelson Chamisa from being assassinated by ZANU-PF. I think I've answered Mkoma Philemon Tambaoga. Because Chamisa, they almost assassinated him. So we had to protect him. Unfortunately, his security cannot be allowed to go around armed. We were supposed to have even purchased firearms for his security to protect, so that if they are fired, they can fire back. But unfortunately, there is no law in our country that allows an opposition leader to be armed. But my wish as Shepherd Yuda was to arm his bodyguards so that they can fire back in the event that they are ambushed and fired at. Yeah, I think you understand why. So, Susan Mutami, it's not herself, but it's the counterintelligence that is pushing her to say all sorts of rubbish. And when I spoke about counterintelligence a lot yesterday, some questions were raised. Some questions were raised. Thanks, Mkoma Msegio. Some questions were raised that what is counterintelligence? And people think I don't understand what I was talking about. I really understand. This is why mchona takaenda kuchikoro, takadzidza, takaita madegree atakaita, is to read information, analyze information, and give a conclusion. So, Saka, the definition of counterintelligence, to that guy who asked the definition, it simply means counterintelligence refers to efforts taken to protect one's own intelligence operations from penetration and disruption by hostile nations or their intelligence services. This is just what we call counterintelligence. I think that gentleman is answered. Counterintelligence should pervade all aspects of intelligence, but it is often pigeonholed as a security issue. Counterintelligence does not fit neatly with human intelligence. Although counterintelligence is, in part, a collection issue, nor does it fit with covert action. So successful counterintelligence can also lead to analytical and operational opportunities. This is what I found in search of the meaning of counterintelligence. And this makes counterintelligence one of the most difficult intelligence topics to discuss. It is one of the most difficult topics to discuss. Most nations have intelligence enterprises of some sort. As a result, these agencies are valuable intelligence targets for other nations. It is a valuable intelligent target of other nations. Remember, yesterday I was talking about the CIO failures. Today we have got, let me check on my my presentation yesterday and come up with the failures that we noted in yesterday's presentation. We stated quite a lot of failures by Central Intelligence Organization. We said we don't have any more roads in our country. We don't have water to drink, clean water to drink in our country. We don't have a working health care system in our country. We don't have education system in our country. A lot of things are dilapidated. Our neighbors in South Africa are not this primitive in the opposition part. Exactly, love. If you go to Botswana, if you go to Namibia, if you go to South Africa, you will find that they tolerate the opposition. They campaign, ANC campaigning here, Bupa campaigning there, and EFF campaigning there. No violence, no killings. Just recently in Botswana, elections were finalized and won by the opposition. No one lost his life because of politics. So in our country, we've got a primitive ruling party. That primitive ruling party is a party that blocks the road. You have seen Chamisa being denied access into Zaka, being denied access into Nyanga, being denied access into Mutare. They will soon close the the road with the logs and the world must tombo machi vakamira nefoot vachitaura kuti chamisa auye ndoko. That's being primitive. The azina mukoma chichi regai ndiverenge this. Difference of intelligence and counterintelligence. Pretty simple. Intelligence is information collected to further your mission, while counterintelligence is concerned with either catching those trying to gather such intelligence, otherwise disrupting the intelligence gathering process. Thank you so much. That is a clear definition, a very simple one. Thank you, Mkoma Chichi, because I was in pains trying to explain so that that gentleman who asked this question will understand. So, it is a very difficult subject to discuss. Very difficult subject to discuss, but at least I've tried to show you what counterintelligence, to define counterintelligence. But ours in our country is defective. It's defective. That's the problem with it. Because collection of intelligence, gaining of information about an opponent's intelligence collection capabilities may be aimed at one's country, may be aimed at your own, but it has to be thwarted by the counter of it. And it on. Saka ndrikutaura pano ndichiti kuna Suzeni Mutami, it's you who made me come here for this presentation. Otherwise, ndaswera kubasa na ndisikade zvokuita presentation tonight. But wandidaidza kuti ndiuye ndikupindure what you were saying, although I've heard or I've listened to a small portion of what nonsense or rubbish you were dishing from your hideout. This is my presentation tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is not intended to be an expert's work. It's not an expert's work. I am not an expert myself on intelligence or on counterintelligence. And I am rather anxious not to become one. Because why I don't want to become one of the experts in this field, in this intelligence work or whatever. I'm just anxious, but I don't envy to be one. You know what? Tese takaverenga Bible pana. Apana munhu asina kuverenga muZimbabwe akazvarwa muZimbabwe andaura kuti haana kumboita Bible anenge achinyepa. Because kuzvikoro kwatakaenda tese takaverenga Bible. Even if you ask the Muslims, they tell you what is in the Bible. So if you know, ever since I realized that Noah's Ark, apana asina kuverenga Bible. All those who know about Noah's Ark, that ark was designed by an amateur. A person who never built an ark, who never built a boat, who was just an amateur. And if you think closely, that Titanic was designed by an expert, then you can stop to become an expert on any field. If you think these two things. Kutuka garapasi, read the Bible. Ponder closely that an ark, Noah's Ark, Noah was just an amateur who built an ark, and the whole world was filled with water. Every life was destroyed except those who were in the ark. But that ark never sank. It floated until the world was dry again for new life. And compare that Noah's Ark with the Titanic, which had all sorts of engineers from all walks of life who were experts in it. But that Titanic, it sank. Unlike Noah's Ark, which was made, nemiti, it never sank. Titanic yakagadzirwa nesimbi dzakaita kukurukirwa pasaba. It went down the ocean. As I am speaking right now, it's under the ocean. So being an expert in anything does not mean that you can make things work properly. No. This is when I stopped being an expert in any field. So a disclaimer is, I am not intending to be an expert in whatever I'm explaining tonight. I'm going to explain about counterintelligence. I've defined counterintelligence, and I've shown you, or I've given an example of a person being used by the intelligence or CIO of Zimbabwe as counterintelligence. So I am lucky enough, ladies and gentlemen, to have been involved in the GoFundMe of the Bulletproof car. This is why I come here to tell Susan Mutami that if you contributed your money to transfer, or if you transferred your money to Nelson Chamisa, yes, you've got right to go to Nelson Chamisa in Zimbabwe and demand your money back. Unfortunately, if you followed the course that we put to raise the money to protect the life of Chamisa from being assassinated, you did not contribute the Bulletproof car to Chamisa. Chamisa had no idea that we were collecting money to protect his life, to buy a car that stops bullets entering into the cabin and kill him. So we were preventing the killing or the assassination of Nelson Chamisa. I am further fortunate, ladies and gentlemen, to have worked alongside many Democrats, many citizens who were eager to acquire that car with bullet-resistant windows and bullet-resistant board. This is why I'm saying I'm further fortunate to have worked with the citizens who were eager to contribute for the purchase of that Bulletproof car. So to Susan Mutami, let me say, this was not an investment opportunity. And the results were not guaranteed to say, look, we will eventually get enough money and buy that car. But by some miracle, we exceeded the target and we bought the car. And you can't give gifts to claim them back later. It's barbaric. Yeah, this is why this is why I am saying it's a counterintelligence work that is trying to use this foolish girl to say, go claim your money, say Chamisa abused this Bulletproof man. It was not Chamisa's idea. It was the citizens of a country's idea. And I am lucky or fortunate to have been one of those people who did not sleep day and night raising the funds to buy that car. And it was, as I have stated here, not an investment at all. And the results were not guaranteed that we will eventually get enough money to buy that car. But by miracle, by grace, we managed to raise it, and we did buy the car that is in question. So I'm lucky enough, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm proud of having done so to protect the life of Nelson Chamisa. And the Chamisa is still alive. Andimona, Chamisa is still alive. He's alive and kicking. And he is our candidate for 2028 presidential elections. Whether people don't like it or not, whether you like it or not, it's not Shepard's decision, but it's the citizens of a country's decision that they want Chamisa to be the presidential candidate for 2028 elections. So, what I am saying here is it's very simple. Let me take a shot at the Central Intelligence Organization. As you remember yesterday, and I don't hear what Susan said, but why did you protected him? Yes, because the ZANU-PF wanted to kill him, so we had to protect him. That was the intention, is to prevent his assassination, to save his life from being killed by ZANU-PF people. Remember, this is not first time they wanted to kill Chamisa. Chamisa, when he was member of parliament for Kwadzana, he was invited in Brussels, and he was attacked at Harare International Airport. They hit him with a metal rod here, and he has got a crack. He has got a crack on the skull. And they thought Chamisa had died. They left him for dead. He was only saved by a certain woman. I'm not going to mention that lady, who ran when they were about to strike again to kill Chamisa. So that woman went and covered Chamisa's head. She strode on Chamisa. Then Chamisa was hidden in a dress, and this woman started shouting, "Why do you want to kill this boy?" And these guys, they escaped into their state vehicles and drove off. So it's not first time you saw in Mutare when shots were fired at his motorcade. It's not first time when you saw it in Nyanga when shots were fired at his motorcade. It's not first time when you saw Chamisa in Zaka when you saw his motorcade being fired at using live bullets. And the police has never taken it to investigate who are these people using live firearms against an opposition leader in a democratic country. So we came up as citizens to say, look, if we do nothing, then we are bound to lose this gentleman. He will be assassinated. So we made a move to raise money to buy a bulletproof car, so that if he is attacked, this armored car will save him. So that was the reason why we wanted to save Nelson Chamisa's life. I think I've answered that question. So let me take a shot at the Central Intelligence Organization at this juncture. That when CIO was formed, it was formed during Rhodesia. It was formed by the Rhodesians. And these Rhodesians were the people who worked with Emerson Mnangagwa when he was in prison, recruiting him into the CIO, into the counterintelligence of the Rhodesian government. And they made an offer to release him into Zambia so that he can go and gather intelligence on behalf of the Rhodesians, the operations of revolutionary fighters who were in the bush during that time. To the extent that they first told him, you need to go and educate yourself, then later join these guys in the bush and give us the intelligence. So Mnangagwa later joined the liberation war around 1978, after being released from prison in 1975. In 1971, I think. I stand to be corrected here. But it was around 1971, 72 when he was released from prison and went into a mission to work for the Rhodesian Central Intelligence Organization, who were formed by the Rhodesians. This is the reason why you see after independence, Mnangagwa was not reluctant to fire these Rhodesians, the likes of Borden Smith. They remained in the CIOs, and all the white central CIOs remained there. It was because Mnangagwa was the head of that ministry, and he was happy to keep his colleagues there. So the purpose of CIO, when it was formed by the white Rhodesians, it was formed to advise government on intelligence matters related to national security. This is why CIO was formed. It was a police department, formed from police department. And for all former operatives in that department were from the police CID. Their purpose or their intention was to advise the Rhodesian government on intelligence matters related to what? To national security. They had to recommend actions, coordinate actions of intelligence activities. They had to coordinate the intelligence and activities of department and the agencies of the government. That was their intention. Kenny Flower, yes. His director was Kenny Flower when it was formed. So this is why you see Kenny Flower continued in the Central Intelligence Organization even after the white minority rule collapsed. It was because of Emerson Mnangagwa, who was the then minister of that organization. So what they were doing, these guys, they were recommending coordination of intelligence activities of departments and agencies of the government. They were advising the government on intelligence matters related to what? To national security. This is what their intention was when it was created. It was also there to correlate and evaluate intelligence, provide for its appropriate dissemination within the government. So they were there to collect intelligence, evaluate the intelligence, provide the appropriate methods and means of dissemination to government agencies or departments. They were there to perform for the benefit of existing intelligence agencies. That means those white people were supposed to have a new allegiance to a black government and continue to work like that because they were working with Emerson Mnangagwa. So they're to perform other functions and duties relating to the national security intelligence. This is why the CIO was formed. This is why the CIO existed. Above all, they also had to engage in covert actions to collect intelligence. So this was the mission of the Central Intelligence Organization when it was formed by the white Rhodesians. But ndinoti mubate ipapo bozi tiri kukupai zviri mudura kuti muunderstand kuti basa reCIO nderei. Ndosaka makaona nezuro takataura tikati ukaona nyika isina a working finance department, it's because of the CIO. Ukaona nyika isina mvura yakachena yekunwa, it's because of the CIO. Ukaona nyika isina road yazara mapotholes nyika yese, it's because of the CIO. Ukaona nyika isina magetsi, it's because of the intelligence organization. The road of the country. Ukaona nyika isina a working health system, it's because of the work of the Central Intelligence. Because their duty is to advise government on intelligence matter related to the national security. Kushaikwa kwemagetsi munyika, it's a national security threat. Kushaikwa kwemvura yekunwa yakachena muZimbabwe, it's a national security threat. Kushaikwa kweroad dzakanaka munyika, it's a national security threat. And the CIO should have foreseen that coming and advised the government on that matter. Zvekunzi vanozopinda kupolitics vachinodzipa vanonouraya vanhu vasina kana bhutsu ari kuenda ane 1x achinzi ari kuurawa neCIO. That is not the duty of CIO. Their duty is to engage in covert actions to collect intelligence. Ukandiuraya una intelligence yawakollecta. But ukauya ukatamba neni uchindibvunza tichifamba tese chita sei uchipinda mandiri kunopinda mune mundo wako unogoka intelligence. Of course takuti wamuCIO. Kana usati wazvigona izvozvo you are far from the mission of the organization. Ndosaka tiri kutaura kuti vana Susan Mutami zvavari kuita zvazva ndezve counter intelligence, but hazvishandi manje. I've defined the counter intelligence and I've stated the activities that are conducted. These are activities that are conducted to protect Zimbabwe. Chamuno protect Zimbabwe kwachiri chi: espionage, sabotage, subversion, assassinations, terrorism. You must protect Zimbabwe from there. So you need to have a counterintelligence and protect this country against that. Ukaona muchizviti muri we-intelligence department whilst your country is being sabotaged. Unoona president achichema on daily basis about America. President wenyika achichema on daily basis about sanctions. That means Central Intelligence Organization did not do its work properly. The country is being sabotaged, whilst you have got an organization that should have prevented sabotage. There is subversion in our country. People are being poisoned, being assassinated on daily basis. There are terroristic activities happening in our country on daily basis. But the CIO cannot prevent that. Ukaona mchini wa mvura ine tsvina yekwamukuvisi is sabotage. Ukaona nyika ine an individual anozviti is a billionaire, a tenderpreneurship. Ukaona mune nyika ina tenderpreneurship, that is sabotage. Kuti every tender inobuda yehurumende inopuwa chivhayo, every tender yehurumende inobuda inopuwa Tagwirei. Go and read about Tagwirei's tenders that he has won. He is a tenderpreneurship. If you see a country with a tenderpreneurship, that country is being sabotaged. And the Central Intelligence Organization were supposed to have stopped that. They were supposed to have advised the government on tenderpreneurship to stop it. But they failed in their organizational mission. As a result, the country on its own is dilapidated. The health system is dilapidated. The education system is dilapidated. The transport system is dilapidated. Everything in our country has come to a standstill because it's a country of tenderpreneurship. People getting tenders from the government and the billions being put in their pockets without even providing services. That country is dead. It shows that country has got a dead intelligent organization. Their intelligence only knows about infiltrating opposition politics. They can't do joint and multinational operations with other agencies. They can't look at doctrinal fundamentals with other agencies. They can't look at the equipment of the country. What is that equipment? If we talk about equipment of the country, we even talk, when we say equipment of the country, we look at things like trains in a country. We don't have a rail working system. Atina zvitima zvekuti munhu unokwira chitima chaunoda nenguva yaunoda uchienda kwaunoda nekudzoka. Atina. So they lack this command and control of the intelligence system. Even if you look at their communications, it's so bad. They can't even put an information system support. If they fail to have a working rail system, if they fail to have a waterworks that can supply the people of a country with clean water to drink, how can they maintain communications and information systems in a country? They can't. So they're planning, executing, security and training. It's questionable. That's why uchiona vanhu vachiti chamisa masiyaiwo counterintelligence what because they lack what is required of an intelligence organization to get Zimbabwe back on its feet. Kutevera wana Shepherd Yuda mchida kuvapoizona. That's not intelligence. Not intelligence at all. Because all the decisions that are being made in Zimbabwe, made by Mnangagwa and the government, are decisions being made by morally corrupt leaders. And the absence of international restraints on exercise of power, they are taking advantage of that. They are taking advantage of the absence of international restraints on exercise of power. If there were international restraints by now, Mnangagwa wasiri ma president. But with all the SEOM reports, AU reports, whatever reports which were written condemning our election, condemning Mnangagwa, he went on to assume the leadership of a country, putting the national security in jeopardy. Because an election, guys, is a vital component of a state's defense policy. Election should be found in a defense policy. Because right now, Zimbabwe is at its weakest position right now. Is at its weakest position. Because of an electoral system that is ushered no winner, no president, no one has got powers at this juncture. Hondo ikapinda muZimbabwe nhasi, maZimbabweans arimo ese anobatsira vapinda nehondo kubvisa hurumende iri kutonga inobviswa nevanhu vanobatsira. Izvozvo zvinopa kuti tichita look back nebehavior dzana Susan Mutami. Vana Susan Mutami. Behavior yake necharacter yake ndozvimwe zvatinofanirwa kuongorora. Kana tichitaura kuti this is the work of counterintelligence, tinenge tichirevei? Ndozvatoda kutarisa pano. Kuti kana iri the work of counterintelligence yamuri kuona zvikuitwa nana Susan Mutami izvi, tinenge tichirevei? Zvi zvatinenge tichimboreva. I don't want to do what they call a character assassination. I don't want to do what they call a character assassination. But first of all, before I venture into Susan Mutami's shenanigans, let me look at the work of counterintelligence in Zimbabwe. We go on internet, go everywhere. Read about Nelson Chamisa, what these people has deposed of Nelson Chamisa. They first look at the 2005 Zvishavane saga. Tutara 2005. Avana havana kutanga nhasa vakabvira kure. Saka if we look at 2005, ukaenda kuzvishavane, kune mukadzi akaisirwa poison akafa namai Mnangagwa, achinzi ari kurara naMnangagwa, on suspicion that Lillian Timovius or Aukopro was having an affair with the president of Zimbabwe. So as a result, CIO were tasked to ensure Lillian Timovius is poisoned. As you all understand, Lillian Timovius has died. she has just defected to ZANU-PF. Munhu wekuzvishavane. Saka watasapa 2005 Lillian Timovius ndiye akanyora zvinhu zvandiri kutaura panapa. Pamwe aibatsirwa nana Susan Mutamiwa vecounter intelligence. Lillian Timovius akanyora achiti iye muna 2005 murume wake ainzi Mike Timovius ndiye aifanirwa kuita candidate yekuzvishavane, a parliamentary candidate yeMDC. Ndozvaakutaura Lillian Timovius. Akati Chamisa came to Zvishavane and imposed Piers Mbalekwa, who had recently defected from ZANU-PF. Ndosaka muchiona Lillian Timovius akatiza achiti akuenda kuZANU-PF. Angasi akuataka President Chamisa. Akataura kuti hanzi, I remember running for dear life while MDC supporters in Zvishavane bayed for his blood. These are lies being peddled by the counterintelligence of the Central Intelligence Organization after the manager kutora Lillian Timovius vakamuita wavo. So in the end, both the candidates submitted their CVs. The MDC vote was divided. The seat was lost to Obet Mashalaga of ZANU-PF. Now Mbalekwa is back to ZANU-PF. And now Lillian Timovius was back to ZANU-PF. So this is a history that has been crafted by the Central Intelligence Counterintelligence, the CIO Counterintelligence Department. They were accusing Chamisa of having worked against Mike Timovius, who was the husband of Lillian Timovius. And eventually that Timovius went back to ZANU-PF. This speaks volumes. Was she opposition in the first place? Obviously she was not. These people just wanted to use the people of Zvishavane, and they went on to accuse President Nelson Chamisa of having imposed Ainzanu Mbalekwa, which are all false, calculated to tarnish Nelson Chamisa's image and name. They went on to talk about the Gushungo connection. What are you talking about? Now. They went on to connect President Nelson Chamisa's name with the Gushungwe and the Gushungo diaries. Varakashi, Zanu, Nema ZANU-PF. They accused President Chamisa of doing business with the Gushungo holdings. They went on Twitter. They created fake accounts. This is the work of counterintelligence. Let's be very careful. They went on Twitter, created fake accounts. My accounts are Mamononagans Gabriel Chaiva, Lillian Timo. Adaka for Lillian Timovius. Muchaona my accounts are Shanda Chete. Kudaru Twitter, Gugua. Mamaganzana Gabriel Chaiva, Mamaganzana Changirai, Mamaganzi Wob. Akawandisa my Twitter accounts which were created by Varakash, which is Varakash for ED. Their spokesperson Joy Charamba and the Nick Mangwana behind creation of those fake Twitter accounts. So they've tweeted time and again false information. They've tweeted false allegations of Chamisa transporting Mukaka Wamdara Gushungu. And these Twitter accounts and these social media ghosts, they deprived the people of Zimbabwe the truth. They never wanted the truth to be known. They have reposted and reposted that information on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere you go, they will be posting the same information. Because that information, it fits with their personal political beliefs. Their political beliefs is to target Nelson Chamisa, is to try to drive Nelson Chamisa out of politics. When they failed, you heard them saying Chamisa must resign from opposition politics. And we reminded them that Chamisa is not a leader of any political party at this juncture. So we asked them, which opposition politics do you want Chamisa to resign from? They've got no idea. But what their personal political beliefs are is what they just go right. They just go right nonsense. And despite this Bushungo diary news being fake, they produced a fake result, a fake receipt. And when that receipt, I checked the receipt. I took the receipt, checked it, and saw that there was no receipt of some sort. It was a doctored document meant to try to provide evidence, despite them failing to bring evidence of whatever they were alleging. Only after themselves embarrassed their political beliefs and the false allegation they were laying, they ended up being embarrassed by the truth coming out shortly after I examined the receipt, and I will put it on social media and explain the discrepancies on that receipt. They were so embarrassed. They peddled all these lies from the counterintelligence desk to try and dent Chamisa's political prospects. Those claims of connections with the Gushungo Holdings, they were made even worse by a friend of the ruling ZANU-PF, Douglas Monzor. But these were dismissed by even Charlton Wende. In 2020, Charlton Wende thrashed that to say, look, there is nothing like that. You have got no evidence, Monzora, of showing us what you are claiming. So ZANU-PF and Varakash, they dignified the lies that Chamisa had that contract to transport Gushungo milk, or milk from Gushungo Holdings. They were lies, and we proved them lies. But they had put it everywhere on social media as a part of a counterintelligence operation, which does not work. If they were doing that, digging deep into why the country has got no electricity, why the country has got no fuel, why the country has got no roads, why the country has got no clean water, they were supposed to have done a splendid job advising the government on what to do under such circumstances. So the only way to prevent acceptance of those potential lies is to be skeptical with the information that you guys read, you guys listen. There is no point of going to listen Susan Mutami talking about Chamisa having a contract to transport milk from Gushungo Dairies, whilst we shut that one down. Whilst you know that it's false. There is no information like that ever happened in our country. There's nothing like that ever happened in our country. So you guys must be able to question and test everything that comes into your ears. Don't share such information because you are assisting spreading lies. And those fake stories, they fly, they spread like nobody's business. So, like last time I said, don't put on social media things that you are not sure of. Because once you put it on social media, you won't have control over whatever you've written or put on social media. First of all, before you do like that, be skeptical in everything you hear, every report you read. Seek evaluation and confirmation before throwing that into the social media. Because it's a bottomless pit, Izari social media. You will throw and throw and throw information, but I fear Gazara. People will eat rubbish and rubbish. People will hear rubbish and rubbish. People will listen to rubbish and rubbish. It's full of rubbish. So, Chamisa this, Chamisa that, by Susan Mtami, this must be stopped. And I am telling Susan Mtami right now that opposition politics are in the right hands if they remain in the hands of Nelson Chamisa. Chamisa is a powerful force of change and an inspirational beacon of hope. Let me tell Varakash, let me tell ZANU-PF, let me tell the counterintelligence, the CIO counterintelligence, let me tell Emerson Mnangagwa tonight that this Chamisa you are seeing, he is a powerful force of change in Zimbabwe. He is an inspirational beacon of hope in the lives of the people of Zimbabwe. Manzo ndichitaura ndikati, Chamisa is not a president of next election, but is a president of the next generation. If Mnangagwa leaves power today, what is he leaving for the next generation? A country without electricity, a country without working health system, a country without food, a country without roads, a country without clean water, a country with an unfunctional education system, a country with an unfunctional healthcare system. This is what Mnangagwa is going to leave today after being at the helm for 10 solid years, successively. He is not going to leave anything for the future generation. He is a president of 2013. It's pathetic that this counterintelligence CIOs, they do work for a 2013 doing what? You are failing to provide for 16 million people. You failed for 10 years. And you want more years. What for? Making it 45 today without providing anything tangible to the people of Zimbabwe. So you are a president of elections, next election. You are not a president of next generation. There is totally nothing for you to live for the next generation. So in politics, let me tell those in the opposition, those who were following Douglas Monzora, who were following Kupe, who were following whoever, please desist from following these hopeless maggots. You need to come back where the majority is. In opposition politics, conflicts are there, not in opposition only. Even in the ruling party today, they removed Robert Mugabe by force. It's because of conflicts. People have conflicts. Wherever you meet as human beings, conflicts are there. Hapana pamusingaofe makaona pasina conflict. And the threat of conflict is held to be permanent, ladies and gentlemen. It's inescapable in today's politics. That mubate papo could in today's politics, conflict and the threats of conflict It is there permanently. You cannot escape it. It's inescapable. You can't escape conflict in politics. But I've shared with the conflict, team opposition, we split the party. Look what happened to Triple C. It's still pathetic that the likes of Welshman Nue, as non-central intelligence operatives, who stand there and try to pretend as if they are opposition. Avanyare and avachke vanu and varikujerera vanu. Saka, trikutaura kuti no matter what conflicts people might have in politics, people must follow a leader with hopes. And the conflicts, it starts from a very different set of assumptions. Ngoti anzi Chamisa arikutakura mukaka waMugabe. Munzuro watomhanya watotaura kuti Chamisa kutakura mukaka waMugabe. Hana kana evidence nazvo. It's just creating conflict. And you see, vanhu vane pfungwa dzakakwana following Douglas Munzura. Vanhu vane pfungwa dzakakwana following Welshman Ncube. People who have caused chaos following Komich. Surprising to see people following Komich. With all the conflicts he created. There is a video of Komich atina mea anosapota Chamisa. It's all about Chamisa. So today I'm here to address Komich as well. To say, Mr. Kapu, Chamisa is a powerful force. He is the force of change. An inspirational beacon of hope for the people of Zimbabwe. Let me just address you. I'm addressing to Welshman Ncube today. Don't pretend to be leader of Triple C. You are not leader of Triple C. I am here to address Douglas Munzura as well. Nisanda address Susan Mtami. I'm addressing Douglas Munzura as well. Good. The conflict you have created in the MDC, in the opposition arena, it's enough. And the people of Zimbabwe now should simply disband the MDC. It's a political party that we fought for. It's a political party that we almost died for. We've got loads of a number or thousands of supporters who were murdered by ZANU-PF because of MDC. And the Monzora is dicing with the blood of those innocent people killed by ZANU-PF. Saka ndikutaura in part, conflict originates. But it's not, let's not be bound by conflicts and continue to destroy the opposition while ZANU-PF is flourishing because of counterintelligence idiots we know. Conflict is human nature. We know conflict is human nature. Let's not allow Wana Susan Mtami to be aggressive to our president. Let's not allow Wana Monzora to be aggressive to Chamisa. All these people are far from being perfect. Monzora, Maimunzwana Komichu. Vachinyenga vakadzi vevanhu, vachienda kumahotera vachirara nevakadzi vevanhu, achinzi kuti ustand as candidate for zvishavane, huya kuhotera kwangu urare neni. Mukanzwa vakadzi vekukwekuko vachichema vakaita musangano vachiimba about Monzora, atumira girlfriend yake kuti enda kansela ikoko. Komish. These are far from perfect people. Imi mira ina Chamisa imi. Mira ina Chamisa. Because as I'm talking right now, apana asingazvizivi. Mozambique, people are locked in conflict. People are fighting right now, demonstrating. Nyika nenyika kaenda kuIsrael neGaza zviri kuyana zvakaipa nana Lebanon. States are locked into struggle for survival in which there are few rules. There are no rules in politics. Let's use common sense. Today, what do you want as people of Zimbabwe? International organizations themselves, they cannot compel their members to act accordance with the decision that they make. We saw SADC EOM report. We saw AU report. Zimbabwe is part of SADC. Zimbabwe is part of AU. Zimbabwe is part of United Nations. But all those international organizations, they failed to compel Zimbabwe to hold a free and fair election. Their allies, they can't do anything. Because once they start doing that, they are creating conflict. Zimbabwe has broken a lot of treaties. Human rights treaties. They've killed people. They've bludgeoned opposition people. These are conflicts. Even if you go to Ukraine versus Russia, in that combat, rules are there. Diplomacy is there, and it must be observed. Because once you observe rules of combat and diplomacy, the other country is subject to reciprocate what you have done for them. That's encouraging. So what I'm saying here, is really simple. I'm talking about conflicts. That even in combat there are conflicts. Within Ukraine, people are conflicting. So in Zimbabwe politics, in opposition politics, there were conflicts and there are conflicts. And there will continue to be conflicts. But it's not a certificate to follow the likes of Monzora. No. We must not follow the likes of Monzora. We must not follow the likes of Vana Komicha, Vana Walshman. We must never do that. Because we've got a beacon of hope who is none other than Nelson Chamisa. So I wanted to venture into this and make it clear here what some of the things that I discussed yesterday. And Imon. Saka takushida kuyenda manje to talk about our Susan Mutami. Ndiye andipa undiye live. Ndasikade kuya live nasi. Ndiye ita undiye live. I didn't want to come live here on tonight. Let's look at the character of the person who is attacking President Nelson Chamisa. The person is more connected to ZANU-PF than any other political party in Zimbabwe. And the information that he collects and says to the world is the information that can only benefit ZANU-PF. Disposal of that information is for the benefit of ZANU-PF. Historically, she is connected to ZANU-PF. And the woman is a liar. Susan Mutami is a liar. And Ragu utarisama lies. Emskana. Kutinyato good scan this woman is a liar. Ndati nini, most of her shenanigans are connected to ZANU-PF. And she's the one being utilized by ZANU-PF. Her character on its own, if you have never discovered her character, it's time to discover her character. Her character on its own is the one that exonerated E.D. Mnangagwa from the rape allegations that she did. She made the headlines in Australia to say she was raped by Emerson Mnangagwa when she was very young. But considering her character, that her character only, it exonerates Mnangagwa from being a rapist. Because people will begin to wonder, was there any sexual contact between Mnangagwa and Susan Mtami? Was there any sexual contact between the two? Because if you listen to her narrations, how Mnangagwa raped her, pane imwe yandoda kutsvaga narration yake yekuzi akabatwa chibharo naMnangagwa achidescribe sikarudzi yapresident wenyika vaMnangagwa kunzi mungabvisa bhurugwa ravo vakatsvukira magaro vakaita sei. She said a lot of things about Emerson Mnangagwa. I don't hesitate to say this girl is a liar. She's a liar. Because ukatarisa ma connections ake ese. She had an affair with Kenneth Msanu, a legislator and the ZANU-PF Politburo member. She had an affair with the Themba Muliswa. At one time, she lied that she was impregnated. She was impregnated by Muliswa, but she lied that she had carried twins in her tummy. Muna anogara ku Australia kunoitwa mascaninga. Scanning at one house, you can tell mune vana vangano. And she said she went for a scan. She's happy because anima twins are Themba Muliswa. She had an affair with the Sibusiso Moyo. These people are wholly ZANU-PF. So there is nothing good she can say about the opposition president Nelson Chamisa when she had enjoyed a sexual relationship with the ZANU-PF heavyweights. She was sleeping with Sibusiso Moyo. And we all remember when she made her allegations about Mnangagwa, she went on a Twitter space. This Twitter space was attended by almost 12 to 13,000 people. Given the anarchic nature of our politics, we were made to hate Emerson Mnangagwa by Susan Mtami. We were made to call Emerson Mnangagwa a rapist by Susan Mtami. Ladies and gentlemen, Mnangagwa could be a victim of some of the high rates of false rape charges leveled against high ranks in the country. Such unfounded claims, complaints by Susan Mtami, they needed to be treated suspiciously. Unsubstantiated rape charges that were leveled against E.D. Mnangagwa by Susan Mtami, they are distressing. You know, where Mnangagwa goes, he goes to different countries. Coming out of a plane, being received by other presidents. One to kutoendesa vasikana padhuze kuti munhu is a rapist. I've got a very good record. Iron Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was refused to enter this country, United Kingdom, because he spent time in prison for rape. And up to today, if you read the circumstances of the allegations, you can still conclude that no, this was a consensual sexual relationship. Mike arutaura hanzi 400 million yangu ndaipa my girlfriend 30,000 and musikana ipa mwakapuwa less than 30,000 akajamuka akanoclaima ndarepwa arara muruma Mike Tyson. Ndo type dzana tafadzwa zviri sei, ndo type dzana Susan Mtami. She's using the chaos that is in our politics to lay those distressing false rape charges against Emerson Mnangagwa. And as I'm telling you, 12,000 people watched her allegations when she was on space. And that made that accusation grew into a major criminal case. I'm not defending Mnangagwa. I'm looking at the character of someone who accused Mnangagwa of rape. I'm not defending Mnangagwa. I am saying it, considering what she has been doing and saying on social media, that could be a false rape allegation, an unfounded complaint, an unsubstantiated rape allegation against Emerson Mnangagwa, which will distress Mnangagwa, as we all know. Whether everywhere he goes, he has got a page, a tag behind to say, look, this is a rapist. And 12,000 watched Mtami explaining how she was raped by Mnangagwa. And it became a major criminal case that we also called for the arrest of Mnangagwa. To say once he stepped in a free country, Mnangagwa must be seized. And Murukunzo. So Mutami, he cited that Mnangagwa wanted her so much that he was prepared to do anything. Anything. Akataura mabatirwo akaitwa naMnangagwa. Akataura akati mudhara uyu mudhara uyu akamira akadai dai, nhengo yake yakamira yakadai. And at one time when she came back, when she came to Zimbabwe, she had access to President Nelson Chamisa. This is why I am saying here, if she contributed or she put her money to Chamisa to say, go and buy a bulletproof car, she has got right to go and demand it from Chamisa. But if she contributed it through the GoFund we initiated, and it's very unfortunate, she contributed to a cause. She contributed to a cause. Saka tikutaura tichiti, what I'm saying here, this woman, Mtami, is a liar. She is a liar. Many has to be very careful with this lady. Her character is that character of those women who will go and lay a false rape charge just to fix a man. Considering that she was sleeping with Kenneth Msani from ZANU-PF. She was sleeping with Themba Muliswa from ZANU-PF. She was sleeping with Sibusise Moyo from ZANU-PF. She was sleeping with Emerson Mnangagwa from ZANU-PF. That speaks volume of this Susan Mtami. She lied. She went to Australia and lied with Akangane Numbu Nema twins. Yevana Watemba Muliswa. Today Muliswa is demanding where is the other child. Because when she gave birth, she had only one baby. Where's the other baby? She's a person who does not say the truth. So, since that dreadful day, she went on Twitter, on social media, claiming ED raped her. Something real has been lost. Something has been lost. Because now we are skeptical about the rape accusation. I remember very well that Twitter. When I went to that Twitter, ndakabvapo ndane hasha. Dzekuti ndakati Mnangagwa ndikamubata ininika ndikumubopa nemasi. If I find Mnangagwa, I will seize him and take him to the nearest police station to say, please charge this rapist. What she stated on that Twitter. Probably she was claiming recognition, special recognition, so that she can enter the social media space and start attacking us. Because now we can tell that probably that accusation was false. It had some motives behind. It had some profit motives behind. There was negligence somewhere, somehow, accepting the accusations or the statements she made on that day. Or there is a criminal concealment. A criminal activity. Because it was a criminal activity. If she was truly raped as a young girl, as a teenager by Mnangagwa, that was a criminal activity which by now should have Mnangagwa charged long time ago. Kana pakati za Mnangagwa achienda ku South Africa, dai mtama akasvika ne allegation yake iyoyo, Mnangagwa was supposed to be seized in South Africa and arrested there. She never came with that allegation when Mnangagwa was under attack. Ndakaita hasha dzakaipa tafadzwa kunzwa kuti mudhara akaita saMnangagwa repa mwana. And she went on to say Mnangagwa is HIV positive, to the extent that she said Mnangagwa akamuzora chirwere. But surprisingly, taiona achirara nana Sibusiso Moyo, chirara nana Temba Mliswa. Anika negligence kanako. Saka accepting my statements anoita musikana uyo. Azifambe zvakanaka. She's just there to defame some characters. She wanted to establish this victimity so that people can feel sorry for her. Little known that she's a great liar. That girl lies a lot. She's not the first person to lie. Kana ndo saka mchuona inini I'm capable of looking at that, those type of stories like my rape cases with the objectivity and subjectivity at the same time. It's because I've known lawyers to lie. People lie, they lie a lot. And people lie under oath. I've seen scientists lie. I've read stories and analyzed stories of scientists lying. And their lies leading to conviction of innocent people. Ukaenda kwa America, go and read the issue of O.J. Simpson. You can tell the police were lying. Read about O.J. Simpson. So she went on Twitter to try and establish victimity so that people can feel sorry for this girl. It's pathetic. It's pathetic, ladies and gentlemen, that she lied a lot. And first of all, she lied for a profit. You know, there's lack of consequences for those caught lying or caught laying false rape allegations. Otherwise, if there were international consequences, these women won't be able to go and lie. They will go and report the truth. So, This lack of international consequences for these liars, it means they will continue to lie with impunity. You are lying with impunity. If you contributed your money to Nelson Chamisa, can you show us the receipts of the money you sent to Chamisa? Put them on social media. You have got a Twitter account. You can scan and put them there so we know that you sent money to Chamisa to purchase a bulletproof car. If you contributed to our GoFund, it's very unfortunate. Chamisa had no control over that GoFundMe for a bulletproof car. So all your allegations are not substantiated. They are false allegations. Your accusations, and where you are demanding your money, you are demanding it from the wrong person. Unless if you transfer directly to that person. So I don't hesitate to say you even lied to be a victim of rape. This is why I am saying if there is international consequences of those caught lying about being rape victims, you wouldn't be lying with impunity. You are continuing peddling lies because maybe people vari kukunzwira tsitsi kuti wainamiwa nedhara riya. And your motives, to be honest with you, you have joined the likes of Tinashe Jonas, you have joined the likes of Judah Osana to say Chamisa must not be a candidate for 2028 elections. You are just a defamatory character. You are just deforming someone's character. Hauna chokwadi chaunacho. Exactly. So I'm now skeptical, and I'm telling the world that people must not accept statements that are made by Susan Mutami. She's not a credible witness. You need to be critical to whatever she say. Assess the credibility first before you publish a nonsense from that Susan Mutami. She's a criminal, that girl. She's a criminal, that girl. Lomash, just send her hi, then I'll send you what she said. Because if I've been here for almost 2 hours. So I'll be going back, repeating the same information. Just send me a hi on my WhatsApp page. On my WhatsApp, then I'll send you the audios, then you listen to them. She's demanding money that she contributed for the purchase of a bulletproof car from Nelson Chamisa. And you will listen, you can tell good Maya vanonyepa, zvakaipa, munyepi mkuru. Saka don't ever accept any statements from that lady. She is not a credible witness. If she gives you any information, please be critical. Because her credibility is in question. And the allegations against Mnangagwa could be false. Because she lacks credibility. She's someone who is happy to conceal some crimes. She has concealed the rape crime ever since she was raped by Mnangagwa. She concealed it. She never came open about it. She went to Australia long time ago. She could have just filed charges in Australia as soon as she landed there. But she never did this. So, you know, great liars are good at concealing crimes. Considering that maybe she slept with Msani before Mnangagwa. Maybe she had an affair with Sibusiso Moyo before Mnangagwa. Because she doesn't have a kid with Mnangagwa. But she has got a child with the Temba Muliswa, a child with Sibusiso Moyo, a child with Kenneth Msani, all from ZANU-PF. I didn't move. So, if you see that type of a lad concealing crime, that person's credibility is questionable. The power to any lie is equal to our desire to believe in it. Specifically, our need and eagerness to believe it. Accepting something as true or correct without proof is very dangerous. Ndatinini ndakazobva pa Twitter yake msikana na accepted that she was raped by Mnangagwa. And ndakabvapo ndane hasha dzekuti Mnangagwa ndikamuona ndomubvarura bvarura. Akabata mwana akadai so. Yeah, my WhatsApp number. Is it possible for me to type? Because not mkoma den temba. Type I number yangu WhatsApp anabando itaga. Yeah, I can type it here. My WhatsApp number is 0044741177746. That's my WhatsApp number. Bruno. That's my WhatsApp number. So, accepting something as true and correct without proof is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Let's be aware of that. Because Shagataura, after concealing this crime for too long, and later surfaced with Ndaro yakandidai without proof. Zvinhu zvinokatlamadza. Because Susan Mutami, she kept on repeating these allegations. If you read forensic science, if you want to become a forensic scientist, you will learn to see the truth. That a lie repeated several times will be like the truth. A lie, if you repeat a lie several times, and this woman is controversial. She resides in Australia, where she had repeatedly claimed that she was sexually abused by Mnangagwa. Imagine, she was abused in a jeep na Mnangagwa in 2005 when she was just 15 years old and concealed the crime until now. And she made those allegations on a Twitter space. That Twitter space was attended by 12,000 people, including Shepherd Judah. Her character is questionable. Thanks, Mkoma Chichi. Her character is questionable. Because she was 15. She had already slept with the Sibusiso Moyo. She slept with the Temba Muliswa. She slept with the Kenneth Msani. All from ZANU-PF people. And why would she just point at Emerson Mnangagwa Ega? And she's saying Mnangagwa was a cabinet minister by that time. Forced her to sack his manhood. Sorry, guys. That's kafano kupata ura hip-hop. And that room she jipiche green. chaita like a military issue. Yeah? And she, she even proceeded to describe how the president's light skin from the area of the knees up to his groin, Mnangagwa is very light, presumably seeing this because his trousers were down. She is saying she's being raped. Mujipi. Arikuona kuchukira kwa Mnangagwa. Guys, Nadine, it's very dangerous to accept without proof. I wanna kuchukira kwa Mnangagwa wari mjipi. Ane 15 years. Achirepwa motkari momo. And she went on to say attempts to report the abuse to Mnangagwa's wife were in vain, as she claims now the first lady accused her of being a prostitute. Because Mnangagwa obvious wanga watozviona kuti mapesvikiro akanoita pamberi pemudhara kanonamwa. Kanamwa akauda kuripota ndanamwa nemudhara. How true can that be, Mgoma Chichi? Indeed, I'm a forensic scientist. I don't take things at face value. I need to investigate. Looking at someone arepwa kujipo ko odzoka kumba utaura mai muridzi wemukadzi muridzi wemurume kuti ndararwa nemurume wenyu. Mwana ane 15 years. Ngatimbobata ipapo timbonzwa. This girl is a liar. The girl is a liar. Because after that, she went further to explosively allege that she had an affair with the Foreign Affairs Minister Sibusiso Moyo, and that Mnangagwa clashed several times with Moyo. Saka ari kutaura kuti Sibusiso Moyo akaisirwa poison na Mnangagwa because akanga ana affair na Mnangagwa. I don't think she's saying the truth. So she claims she has a child with the Sibusiso Moyo, and the child was born 2017. As she claims that she has a child with the Sibusiso Moyo, who in November, ameno mwana wacho akazvarwa rini waSibusiso Moyo. And how old was she when she gave birth to Sibusiso Moyo's child? Because I'm surprised, Panam. Because I remember that day when she was on Space, where she was claiming that Mnangagwa, he launched an espionage campaign. Saka ndikutaura kuti unozati munhu asingazive zveCIO, munhu asingazive zvecounter-intelligence, munhu waunonzwa achitaura zvana espionage, akazvinzwa kupi mwanawo? Yeah? Akazvinzwa kupi zvana espionage zvaari kutaura izvi? Zvatachitaura kuti kana uchiloncha iri counter-intelligence, unofanirwa kuita safeguard against your intelligence. Sikaitodawo. Sikaitolava wako. Because manzo anishitaura ndichidescribe or ndichidefine counter-intelligence inini. Ndakachitaura kuti ma-activities which are conducted to protect Zimbabwe from espionage, from sabotage, from subversion, from assassination, from terrorism. She is saying, I remember very well, when she said that Mnangagwa had launched an espionage campaign to monitor her affair with the Sibusiso Moyo. She was talking about this espionage. She was talking language inoshandiswa nemaCIO. No language yake yaitaura inoshandiswa navanhu intelligence. And she wanted to expose the affair to Moyo's wife, Justice Lois Matanda Moyo. She wanted to expose that affair. She had an affair with Mnangagwa. She wanted to expose that affair to Mnangagwa's wife. She had an affair with the Temba Muliswa. She exposed that affair on social media. She had an affair with Msani. She exposed that affair on social media. What type of a woman? What type of a girl? This character is suspicious. It's a suspicious character. She doesn't have a leg. Because mazuva ano zvaakuitika ndezvekuti nyaya dzakadaro idzi padzinotariswa vanotarisawo futi character yemunhu. Vanotarisa futi character yemunhu. Because akomana hanzi Sibusiso Moyo assigned his nephew ainzi Hamish Moyo to act as a husband. That means aitorara na Hamish Moyo wacho. Mwana uyu character yake, because ukaona pazvitaura pacho, she went into graphics. She went into explosive and in parts of that case. Ndakabva apo pa ndine hasha zoni Mnangagwa ndikamubata bvarura. Anditi mono. Zvikanzi aitokwira ndege kunosangana na Sibusiso Moyo ku Addis Ababa. Aikwira ndege achinorara naMsani. At the same time achikwira ndege achinorara naTemba Muliswa. Ndopa akanga akutaura kuti varume vekuZimbabwe amugeze. Akakutaura nazi varume vekuZimbabwe amugeze. Hanzi varume vekuZimbabwe vageze. Ndopa ndakabvunzawo inini. NdikaTemba Muliswa mukamutarisa imimi. Look at Temba Muliswa. He's not very old ka. Taangoda kuenzana. I think anenge mudiki kwandiri mbichana. Pandikamira apa naTemba Muliswa andange zidhara nenyaya yekuti haadi kugeza. Temba doesn't like bathing. Ukaona uchinopinda mugumbezi nemunhu abvawo kunotsika ndove nguruve jebwe riya mugumbezi, unofunga anonhuwa chii? Uzofamba uta kuti varume vekuZimbabwe vageze. Handiti mwana. Saka ndiri kutaura about her capability of concealing a crime after Mnangagwa committed that crime to her. She's of questionable character. She has got a motive. In regard to Chamisa, it's just character defamation. It's just character assassination. Just character assassination. Apana chimwe charoda kuita paya. Saka, let's be worried about such people, ladies and gentlemen. Saka ndati nini, let me sum up. Kuti Susan Mutami ndati, just show us the receipts. You contributed your money to Nelson Chamisa's bulletproof car. As far as I understand, I'm lucky to be one of the people who were on the forefront of creating and marketing or promoting the GoFund so that we can raise money to protect the life of Nelson Chamisa. Saka ndazoenda pa also paku describe counterintelligence yanga ichitaurwa nemumwe mupana anga achindibvunza kuti what is the definition of counterintelligence. Saka ndazongompa a very simple definition kuti it is just an activity conducted to protect Zimbabwe or to protect the intelligence, especially to protect a country from espionage, sabotage, subversion, assassination and terrorism. So the that activity to protect it. It's what we call to counter the intelligence. Kuti vamwe varikuda kuya kuzopinda penetrate in you. Kuti vawane intelligence, varikuda vital intelligence. Maybe you counter, you put barriers. Kuti kana vachida information yakati havaiwane nezvakati, vachida zvakati havaiwane nezvakati. Saka the problem yatakuita ndiye kuti that counter intelligence yatiri supposed kushandisa to protect the intelligence and the country ndo yaakushandiswa against the political opponents veZANU-PF. Vakutora vana Suzeni Mutama ava vakuvataurira kuti taurai zvakati, Nelson Chamisa akazoita zvakati, vana Lillian Timovius vanani. It's so pathetic. That is primitive politics. That is primitive politics. Ukaona Chamisa vakampa mazita. They gave him some names. Chamisa is Cobra. Chamisa is this and that. A lot of rubbish has been said about Chamisa. They talk about the Zua case. They talk about Mukaka, Hans Chamisa Ntakura Mukaka, Deir, what. Vanamonzora varimumakuru. Vachena kwese, mbum. Vanoswera vachita politics, the character assassination. Vapedzazvo kunyora all that rubbish, vanobva vanyora kuti return to ZANU-PF. Vatopedza zvavo. Vanyora havo rubbish dzavo idzodzo, vati icho return to ZANU-PF. Vaenda na Lillian Timovius, vanyora zvavo. Takaona vakachema. Chamisa wabvuta Mike mukadzi achitaura. Enezvi kuti vacheme kuti Mary Chiwenga ama pieces. Mukadzi wa General Chiwenga ari kuramba nepassport ya Mary kuti aende kunorapwa. Kusvika ruoko rwadimburwa, gumbo radimburwa, ama pieces. Hatisati tambona vakadzi vaichema kuti Chamisa abvuta Mike. I've never seen them crying about Mary Chiwenga. Aza mugezi. Koye uchirara na Temba Mliso. Bozi ukadana na Temba Mliso vanobva vaisa in brackets kuti varume vekuZimbabwe havagezi. Bozi warara ne1 munhu asikade mvura, asikade kugeza. Temba agezi. Vanoziva Temba Mliso. Ndite zvara wangu Temba. Baba hamugezi. Regai ndiwataura kuti baba Mliso hamugezi. Ndite zvara shamwari yangu yakaroora mushaka wavo. Hadzigezi. Agezi. Ukaenda ukaro yakatora Spring Farm hagezi Temba. Ndio. Chinondishamisa hanzi Chamisa calls for sanctions. Opposes anything government does. Ukaenda kuZANU-PF nasi kuna Gutu, Obed Gutu. Akaenda ku America akataura ma-Americans. Chamisa has never gone to America to tell Americans to maintain sanctions and rambai makadzvanya ipapo. Obed Gutu is in ZANU-PF today. Akaenda ku America akanotaura because ane ma-connections in America. Akandotaurira American government kuti rambai makabata mabhora eZANU. Saka ndati inini sekurutimi vamuyambo muri sei chiregai ndinozorora 19 minutes to 11. Kana pane vane ma-questions ndisandaenda bvunzai ndipindure ndisati ndaenda. Ndisandashaura dhirihora vakomana iri rozi dhirihora kana wafunga kuda kusa nyaya pasocial media isa une evidence akakwana. And hondo yacho ndati ndezve-counter intelligence. Hanzi Chamisa should never be trusted with the keys of State House at all costs. Imagine. Andimukana pane hondo yacho. This is just counter intelligence. Hanzi hafani kutombowana ma-keys ekuenda ku State House at all costs. Good night. Dirivora vakomana. Dirivora rembanje. Ivo vakomana. Dirivora rembanje. Usatambe navo. Dirivora rembanje. Diriora vagoma. Hanzi gezai maZimbabweans na Susan Mtami. Hanzi gezai. But vakadzi vane zvivindi. Because, hey, 15 years. Akanga osenga madhara. Mnangagwa is old by far kuna baba wangu. At 15 years. Akanga osenga madhara. Waitu katasa Sibusiso. Yeah. Do you think kuti aizowana munhu anogeza achidanana nekara dzana Sibusiso ana musani iwayo? Ukatasa musana, ukatasa musana unofunga kuti chura chakafongora munhu idzi. Saka ngechura chakafongora. Mira ndikutsvagirei musani. Ndinotaura kunge asipo nai. Mira ndikutsvagirei musani. Mondiudza kuti Susan Mtami aiwana munhu anogeza here pana musani. Ona diriora vagomana. Kana ndimiwo. Ado murudzo kuti pavarume vakava kaliba yevarume vaanoda muSusan panobuda anogeza ipapa yekuramba ku ona vakomana vanogara mudhiriora rembanje. Ona dhiriora vakomana. Handura kutsvaga painokura kana picture yacho. Mondiudza kuti pakuruiri ungawana anogeza apa. Azviti apa hapana anogeza. Ndiani kosimba Zimai. Yakaiswa nasimba here kuZimai. Mira itoona. Unenge yakaiswa nasimba kuZimai. Temba Muliswa exposes Susan Mtami. Leaks chats with Kenneth Msani. Yeah, kana imim kana ndimiwo. Kuti apa pangaite murume anogeza here. Apa. Muna dhara here. Uyu mwana ukamutarisa mwana mudikisere uyu. Akatonhafiwa, tarisai muone. Mabatiro akaita dhara here. Ungageza musani, ungageza. Uyu mudhara uyu. Uyu. Wagezi mudhara uyu. Wagezi uyu. Hapana. After mudhara iyi mirai tione temba wacho. Tione temba wacho. Ukanzwa machatsi acho akalikwa naTemba Muliswa. Regai ndimboverenga imwe chati iri panapa. Hanzi akati hanzi zvangu based on past experience. I'm not saying you are like that. I'm hurt. Zvikanzi why so? Hanzi it's all good. Mwari hake ndiye anoziva. Ndiye munyaradzi wangu. Whatever I promised you, I will make sure I will fulfill my promises. Iye Mwari akatisanganisa hapengi. At first I thought this was a joke, but now I'm starting to see that I'm the fool here. Ndiri kuramba kurambwa. Kuchemera kurambwa nechidhara chechi chinonzi musani chechi. Ayo, mirai, mosifuwa ndikuverenga fake. Inini handikuverenga fake. Regai ndiseni machats aSusan Mtami, Australia. These chats were leaked by Temba Muliswa. As it's all good, Mwari hake ndiye anoziva, ndiye munyaradzi wangu. Whatever I promised you, I will make sure I fulfill promises. Iye Mwari akatisanganisa hapengi. At first I thought this was a joke, but now I'm starting to see that I'm the fool here. Ndiri kuramba. I lost. I think the problem was that I opened up to you thinking I had found a home for my heart, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. You dumped me because of fake rumor. And I didn't. Chakabva chapindura chimusani chacho musi wa 20 December, musi wa 6 December 2020. And I didn't dump anyone. Please sue. I am your friend. And Kenneth, it's all good. I'm okay. Anyway, I bought you some shoes for work when I went to Dubai. Kana madzoka wakomana venyu vazouya kuzodzitora. I did so out of love, not kuti manga musina boots. I just thought of you. That's all. Hey! Uyu character yake uyu anonyeba dakarepwa naMnangagwa. Hanzi namusani Susan listen. Hanzi Susan listen. Iye musani wako should know better. I'm his senior and there is no way that I'm going to pick up the phone and clarify issues with him in regards to me being with you. I can't be calling a junior. It doesn't work like that, madam, but I can get a third party involved who can clear this on my behalf strategically. It's not wise. I hope you see where I'm coming from. I want to be happy, my dear, and you have my blessings. Who is spreading that false rumor? Do you have any names or any idea who might have done this so I can deal with the culprits? Why are they soiling my name and image? I'll make them an example. And I've told him it's Felix. I mean the Felix before. Susan, why are you making things even worse for me? You know this is very bad. These are my bosses. It's like it's me sending you to get clarification from my boss to be in love with you. I never knew you are so childlike this. You are so childish like this. You love someone whom you are throwing to the fire. This is not the love. I know you are you've got a hidden motive towards my life. I thought of building a good relationship with you so that my people in Mashonaland Central could also benefit from your donations. But now I can see that I have started myself a big problem. You can see that from the message. And I quote, Iye Musashi wako should know better. I'm his senior from that small court. It's like I am not giving him his due respect from the looks. I can come to see you so that we agree. Hey! Mwanaga omo. Mwanaga omo. Mamona. Yagareba. Actually, I don't think I'll be able to read it. Hidden motive. And I wouldn't be the woman that I am today if it wasn't for ED, SB, and Muda. That's my life story. Muda nwari mufuti. Imagine, zanu yese yakapera uchinjaniswa nemwana. Hanzi vanhu vakandibatsira. My dad's relatives took everything when he passed away, including the clothes that my father had bought for us. Iwe unowana, ini ndakawana rubatsiro muupenyu hwangu kuti ndinge ndiri pandiri nhasi, and I'm forever grateful to these men. I wouldn't be the woman that I am today if it wasn't for ED Mnangagwa, SB Muda, SB Moyo, and Muda Ncuve. That's yeah. Ndiye munhu wari takarepwa naMnangagwa uyu. Iye ari kutenda Mnangagwa kuti ingadai. Handimaona zvona achitaura zvezvo. Apa totenda Mnangagwa apa. Kudai pasina Mnangagwa ndisiri zvandiri izvi. Asi ndiye akazoenda akutaura kuti ndakarepwa naMnangagwa. Handimuri kuona machatsa. Machats akaburitswa naTemba Muliswa ubva mufoni yemusikana uyu. Judge for yourself, guys. Good night.